Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Everybody ready for the weekend? I know I am. I will say I wish we were having a little bit cooler weather this weekend. We have gone back up to being kind of a little bit muggy, a little warmer than it should be this time of year, but weather's the weather. Nothing you can do about it, so it's all good. Anyhow, today I wanted to recommend adding these 5 things to your raw vegan diet. Now, everything I'm going to talk about in here, I've talked about before. I've probably talked about a number of times, but this is sort of progression from the last video where I was talking about build your raw vegan diet step by step, because that's all I've done for the last 10 years. I don't do a lot of drastic stuff. I don't eat like this and then all of a sudden change it up completely. I've just constantly, done my research, figured things out, listened to what other people, watched what some other people do and how it works for them. And I just systematically add pieces, bing, bang, boom. And some of these are really good. And you don't have to be fully raw, or however raw you are, you can still get benefits and add all of these things in there. And the first one I'm going to talk about is fermented foods. And I would highly encourage these 5 things too to just go Google them, go research. I do that a lot of times with just particular things. I'll say such and such food, nutrition, such and such food, and do a few searches on them. But the fermented foods definitely increase your microbiome diversity. And that's just something I've been fanatic about the last couple of years, ever since I started listening to talks by Dr. Bulcevitz of Fiber Fueled, like how much our microbiome affects our overall health, because when our microbiome is strong, that increases our immune system and our overall health. So I would definitely look into the fermented. Now, I've just been doing this for a few months now, but I think since I think this is going to be a regular thing, I'm going to start doing my own fermented. But I use this brand right here, Cleveland Kraut. It's not, it doesn't have any extra stuff in there. It's got green cabbage, garlic, kosher salt, black pepper, a little bit, and I know some people will not do any salt whatsoever. And that's kind of also why I want to do my own, is so I can control how much, just put a little bit of salt in there. But this is a good version. This is higher quality right here, so this is the one I use. They have kimchi. They have one that's purple cabbage, beets, and carrots. Good stuff. And like I say, it's easy. I don't ever just sit and eat sauerkraut. I just put a serving of it in my salads, mix it in with my salads, and it's increased the taste, and it's good for me. So fermented foods, check those out. Walnuts. I haven't really, I got kind of on a kick of eating walnuts the past couple of months as well. Now, when I say that, don't go to, sometimes anytime you mention nuts, people just picture you gobbling down nuts, lots of calories, lots of fats in them. But we do need good fat in our diet. And this particular nut, the walnut, is just so good for us in a lot of different ways. It's good for the brain. It's higher in omega-3 fat than any of the other nuts. It also promotes a healthy gut, and it's rich in antioxidants. And you don't need that many. Like I say, sometimes it's like nuts and things like that. Don't be afraid of them. Just eat the serving size. Like a lot of times you just the palm of your hand, enough for the palm of your hand. I like chopping mine up and putting them in those acai and smoothie bowls that I make. Next one, I've talked about this one a lot. Purple cabbage. Purple cabbage, and number 4 is broccoli. We'll kind of talk about those together because they're both cruciferous vegetables, rich in vitamin K. And I've got my notes down here. I forget words sometimes. The broccoli is good for sulforaphane, which neutralizes toxins and reduces inflammation. Now, a lot of people, what they'll say with cruciferous stuff, especially the broccoli, is, "Ooh, I can't digest that," and especially I can't digest it raw. That's why I always chop it up. Well, I was about to do that, but I don't have much left in the containers. I got to do some prep tomorrow. But once again, something that can just be added to the salads. easy. You could pack all of this, and I do, the fermented foods, the purple cabbage, and the broccoli. Those are three things I almost always have when I'm making myself a salad, which I did just a little while ago. And what I was getting at there with the purple cabbage and with the broccoli is if you will chop that up, it digests a lot better. I do it in my food processor, and I just chop it, fairly fine. And if you still, even chopping it up like that, if you've had problems with it in the past, start slow and go little by little. I mean, something's better than nothing. If you had problems, maybe just put like a couple of tablespoons to start with, maybe 1 tablespoon to start with. See how that does. And if you do that over and over and over, you put 1 tablespoon if you're really struggling with it over and over and over. I doubt anybody's going to have a lot of problems internally with that. And if you do it enough, it'll tend to change. And you will probably be able to eat a little bit more of it. So give that a try, because both of those, 2 more great colors. I like bright colors too when I'm eating my colors. The brighter the color, seems like the more nutritious it is. And then number 5, okay, you're going to say, good Lord, are you going to stop talking about these? Is sprouted lentils, or I should just say legumes. Another thing, anybody that might be new to me is I get a lot of my nutrition, and I rely on a lot of my nutritional information from non-raw sources. And one of those sources is Dr. Michael Greger, How Not to Die. And a number of the what I consider good sources, vegan doctors, vegan people that have actually done research, like Dr. Bulsiewicz and people like that. Those are the people that I get my nutritional advice from. If you don't, or if you're into one of those, yeah, man, let's just eat some fruit and juice and detox, God bless you. Power on. You do your thing, but I'm still going to do mine, and I'm going to always recommend a little bit more nutritional approach to this lifestyle. But the legumes. Now, I mention all the time that I'm not a fully raw vegan. I don't try to be a fully raw vegan. I'm a very high raw vegan. I eat, most of my stuff is raw. But I do eat legumes. I'll generally eat legumes about once a week, sometimes twice a week, but seems like I haven't had any in a couple of weeks. But I always do the sprouts. So do either one. If you're eating cooked food, you do want to include legumes. If you're staying fully raw, sprout, because those sprouted lentils are actually probably more nutritious than the cooked lentils. There's just a different process during that sprouting. There's more nutrition in sprouts than just the other version of almost everything out there. In fact, I need to get back to sprouting some broccoli, because broccoli sprouts are just mad nutritious. But the legumes, the sprouts are a good source of protein, good source of iron, good source of zinc. And in general, the legumes have folate, which is very beneficial to us. So, like I say, that's just kind of a quick overview. I'm not going to go through each one and give like a dissertation on it. More just like kind of a study outline, if you will. But I highly recommend those. If you doubt it, research them a little bit further. But once again, what you got to lose? Just put a little bit. Like I say, I've had. Well, no, I can't say that. I haven't had legumes today. I've had some fermented. I had fermented purple cabbage, broccoli, all on my salad. I'm about a day out. I'm still not perfect on my sprouts not running out. Like, I didn't start the batch soon enough, so I was out of that. But generally, almost every day, I'll have purple cabbage, broccoli, fermented foods, and sprouts, all just in one meal in my salad. And I also put those sprouts in my smoothies. I'm telling you, you got to do those sprouts, and they're incredibly simple. But anyhow, those are the 5. I'm not going to kind of just keep rambling and talking about them over and over, but I would definitely look into those, add them to your diet. The walnuts, they're a good nut, and we need that good omega-3 fat. I'm starting to pay, I'll get a little bit looser from time to time and realize, okay, am I paying enough attention to the omega-3s? I'm going to get back on flaxseed too, but you really need to look into and pay attention to the ratio of the omega-6 to the omega-3s and make sure you're getting enough of the omega-3s. But anyhow, I am just kind of rambling now. So hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a beautiful weekend, and I feel pretty sure that I will do a weekend video, if not tomorrow, on Sunday. Peace.